Most people misunderstand silence. They think if you're quiet, you're weak, passive, or unsure. But the truth is the exact opposite. Silence is the ultimate expression of control. When you master the art of staying silent, you take back power that most people hand over to every opinion, every distraction, every unnecessary conflict. You begin to understand that your energy is finite. Every word you speak, every reaction you give, drains a little piece of your mental strength. The more you react to the noise of the world, the more the world controls you. The moment you choose silence, you step into a place of deliberate power. You're no longer a puppet of the chaos around you. You're a commander of your own focus and attention. Silence allows you to conserve energy to protect your clarity. When you speak impulsively, you give away control and you let emotion dictate your decisions. Most people live their lives on reaction, one comment, one criticism, one frustration, and they explode. They defend, they explain, they fight. The result is chaos, stress, and scattered focus. But when you choose silence, you create space for observation. You notice what's really happening. You notice who is acting out of fear, who is acting out of envy, who is simply testing you. That awareness is invaluable. It transforms your mental state from reactive to strategic. It gives you the clarity to decide when action is required and when it's best to simply wait. This deliberate pause, this refusal to react immediately, is where discipline is born. Discipline is not about restriction. It's about control over your own mind, your own energy, and your own actions. Every time you resist the urge to respond, you train a muscle that most people never develop. The muscle of emotional mastery. You're teaching your mind to weigh options, to consider consequences, to choose power over impulse. And the more you practice this, the stronger you become. Strength is not measured by how loudly you can speak or how many times you prove yourself. Strength is measured by how calm and focused you remain when everything around you is trying to pull you off balance. Silence is also a form of strategy. People often confuse talking with leadership, thinking that influence comes from volume. But real influence, real mental strength, is built quietly. The silent mind sees opportunities others miss. It observes patterns, notices gaps, and senses intentions. While others are busy reacting, the person who stays silent is analyzing, planning, and positioning themselves to act decisively when it matters most. Silence becomes a weapon of mental fortitude because it allows you to conserve your energy for the moments that actually require it. The combination of control over your energy and the discipline to pause before reacting builds an unstoppable foundation. It allows you to operate from a higher level of consciousness. You stop being a victim of your impulses. You stop giving away your power to circumstances, to arguments, to the drama of everyday life. You start making choices from a place of calm, clarity, and confidence. Every silent moment becomes a training ground for mental strength. Every pause a rehearsal for mastery. When you stop talking, you begin to see. Silence sharpens awareness in ways that constant noise never can. Most people go through life distracted by their own words, their own thoughts, and their endless reactions. They are so busy explaining themselves, defending themselves, and proving their value that they never actually notice what is happening around them. But the person who stays silent observes. They notice the patterns that others miss, the subtle cues in behavior, the hidden motivations behind words. Awareness is leverage. When you can truly see what is happening, you gain the power to make better choices, to act decisively, and to influence outcomes in ways that reactionary people never can. The quiet mind listens. It hears more than words. It hears intent, tone, and emotion. It discerns the difference between truth and manipulation, between opportunity and distraction. When you master silence, you begin to decode the world in layers, and suddenly the chaos that used to overwhelm you becomes data you can use to create results. Awareness becomes your advantage, because while everyone else is reacting emotionally, you are analyzing strategically. You start to understand human nature at a deeper level, and that understanding allows you to navigate relationships, business, and life with precision and confidence. Alongside awareness, silence cultivates emotional mastery. Most people are trapped in the need to justify themselves, to explain their choices, to seek approval constantly. but mental strength grows the moment you release that need. Emotional mastery is not about suppressing feelings. It is about controlling how you respond to them. When you no longer feel compelled to react to criticism, to defend your actions, or to explain your decisions, you reclaim your energy and your confidence. Your emotional state becomes your ally rather than your enemy. The calmer you are, the clearer your thinking becomes, and the more powerful your decisions become. This is the essence of being mentally unstoppable. When your inner world is calm, no external force can shake you. Confidence grows naturally from this silence. Not the loud, showy confidence that seeks validation, but the deep, unshakable certainty that comes from knowing who you are and what you stand for. When you master silence, you're no longer dependent on others' opinions to define your self-worth. You learn that your value is not in how loudly you can assert it, but in how firmly you hold it within yourself. This inner confidence radiates outward. People feel it. They respect it. They respond to it without even needing words. By combining heightened awareness with emotional mastery, you create a mental framework that is unbreakable. You stop being pulled by external chaos. You stop being manipulated by emotion or ego. You start to operate from a place of clarity, from a place of understanding, from a place of inner strength. Every moment of silence becomes an opportunity to grow, to observe, and to strengthen your mental resilience. The quieter you become, the more powerful you truly are, because your mind is no longer cluttered by reactions. Your heart is no longer disturbed by drama, and your energy is entirely focused on what matters. One of the greatest strengths that comes from staying silent is the ability to protect your goals. Most people talk too much about their plans, their dreams, and their visions. They announce their intentions before they even take the first step. And in doing so, they leak energy, focus, and momentum. Every word spoken about what you will do expends energy that should be invested in doing it. The silent person, on the other hand, channels all their energy into action, into preparation, and into progress. By keeping your goals close to your heart, you shield them from doubt, interference, and unnecessary scrutiny. Silence allows your vision to grow in the shadows, untainted by the opinions and limitations of others. It gives you the space to refine your approach, to learn quietly, and to move deliberately. When you understand the power of silent focus, you realize that results speak louder than words ever could. Most people fall into the trap of needing recognition before results exist. They seek validation at every step, posting, announcing, and explaining before the work is complete. But mental strength lies in doing first, in mastering the craft quietly, and then allowing outcomes to reveal your abilities. Silence becomes a way to safeguard your momentum, ensuring that every effort is directed toward achievement rather than distraction. The ability to act without the constant need for approval separates those who succeed from those who only dream. Silence also transforms the way we use words themselves. Words are not merely a medium of expression. They are tools of influence and creation. When you speak constantly, your words lose power. They become background noise. But when you learn to speak intentionally, every word carries weight, authority, and meaning. People begin to listen, not because you are loud, but because you have trained them to recognize that when you do speak, it matters. Silence teaches selectivity, teaching you to speak only when it will make the greatest impact. It turns communication from habit into strategy. Using words intentionally also reinforces mental discipline. Each word spoken from a place of thoughtfulness strengthens your inner control. You are no longer reactive to every situation. You're deliberate, precise, and confident. The world is filled with people who react impulsively and speak without consideration, and they drain themselves emotionally, mentally, and even physically. But the person who masters silence harnesses words as tools for leadership, inspiration, and influence. Every statement becomes a signal of clarity, every conversation a demonstration of self-mastery. The combination of protecting your goals through silence and using your words as a tool for impact creates a unique form of mental power. You begin to operate on a higher plane, because your energy is preserved for what matters, and your communication is reserved for moments that drive results. Silence is no longer absence, it is presence. It becomes a conduit for strategy, influence, and unstoppable momentum. Through this practice, your focus sharpens, your decisions become deliberate, and your ability to achieve outcomes grows exponentially. You learn that mastery of self is demonstrated, not by constant speaking or explaining, but by measured intentional acts. Silence is more than just a way to conserve energy. It is the gateway to resilience. Every time you resist the urge to react, every time you hold your words and emotions in check, you build a deeper form of inner strength. Most people live at the mercy of external events, letting every comment, every criticism, and every setback disrupt their focus and shake their confidence. But the mentally unstoppable individual understands that true power comes from within. By staying silent in the face of provocation, you train yourself to respond with intention rather than impulse. And in that training, your resilience grows. Life will test you constantly. And those tests are not meant to break you, but to reveal the depth of your strength and the solidity of your character. Silence becomes a practice ground, a place where emotional endurance is forged and mental toughness is cultivated. Every moment of quiet allows you to confront yourself. Most people fear silence because it forces them to face their own thoughts, fears, and insecurities. They fill the air with words to avoid self-reflection, distracting themselves from the inner work that actually drives transformation. But when you embrace silence, you give yourself the opportunity to examine your beliefs, confront limiting patterns, and strengthen self-trust. Emotional mastery is developed not by avoiding discomfort, but by sitting with it, understanding it, and choosing how to respond. The ability to maintain calm and silence, even when surrounded by chaos, becomes one of the greatest indicators of mental resilience and unstoppable focus. Silence also transforms the way others perceive you. When you no longer feel the need to react or prove yourself, your presence gains power. People notice your calm, your poise, and your composure. They sense confidence, not in the volume of your words, but in the measured restraint behind them. Respect is naturally commanded when words are used sparingly and strategically, and influence becomes automatic because people are drawn to the stability, clarity, and certainty that radiate from someone who is mentally disciplined. This is the hallmark of those who are truly unstoppable. The ability to operate from a position of strength without constantly asserting it. Being selective about when you speak and how you engage also sharpens your decision making. Most individuals scatter their energy on things that do not serve their growth, reacting to distractions, drama, and trivialities. Silence allows you to conserve your mental resources for what truly matters, for the actions, relationships, and decisions that will move you toward your vision. It becomes a filter, separating what is urgent from what is important, and giving you the ability to act with precision, clarity, and maximum impact. Over time, the combination of resilience built through silence and the strategic choice of when to engage transforms your life. You are no longer reactive to external pressures or internal doubts. Your mind becomes disciplined, your emotions controlled, and your focus unwavering. Silence is no longer passive. It is a deliberate, conscious tool for building mental strength, commanding respect, and achieving mastery over your own life. Confidence is not built in the chaos of others' opinions. It is built in the quiet conviction of knowing who you are and what you stand for. Most people mistake confidence for the need to be loud, to assert themselves constantly, or to seek approval from others. They define their worth by how they are perceived, by how many people acknowledge them, and by the reactions they can provoke. But mental strength, true confidence, is measured not by validation received, but by the certainty you hold within yourself. When you stay silent, when you resist the urge to justify, explain, or defend, you are signaling to yourself that your value does not depend on anyone else. That inner certainty becomes a source of unstoppable power. It is calm, unwavering, and unshakable. You no longer live at the mercy of external events because your confidence is anchored in your own knowledge, experience, and preparation. Mentally unstoppable people know that confidence is reinforced by action, not words. The more you execute, the more you prove to yourself what you are capable of. Every deliberate action, every goal quietly achieved, every challenge faced without needing to announce it strengthens the belief in your own abilities. Silence becomes the amplifier of competence because it removes distractions and allows your results to speak for themselves. Others may question, doubt, or even criticize, but when your outcomes consistently reflect your capability, confidence becomes undeniable. You don't need to argue or persuade. Your performance communicates what words never could. This inner confidence naturally leads to influence. People are drawn to those who operate from certainty because it projects stability, decisiveness, and strength. When you speak intentionally, when your words are measured and purposeful, they carry impact that is amplified by the silence that precedes them. The world listens differently when you are selective with your speech, when every word is backed by clarity, focus, and authority. The mentally unstoppable individual understands that influence is not earned by volume, but by credibility and the consistency of action. Silence is not absence. It is preparation, observation, and strategic positioning. It ensures that when you do speak, it matters and resonates. Moreover, strategic silence is a shield against emotional manipulation. People who constantly react to criticism, gossip, or pressure surrender their power. Their mental state becomes dependent on others' actions, and their focus is fragmented. By practicing restraint, by choosing when to engage, you protect your emotional energy. You create a mental barrier that allows you to operate free from distraction, interference, and negativity. This is the essence of emotional mastery, understanding that you control how you respond to the world, not the other way around. The more you embrace this principle, the more resilient you become, able to maintain focus, clarity, and determination under any circumstances. Silence also allows you to prioritize what truly matters. Most people scatter their energy across trivial conflicts, unnecessary debates, and distractions that do not align with their purpose. The mentally unstoppable person uses silence as a filter, separating what is urgent from what is important. Every decision, every action, every word is measured against a standard of contribution to their ultimate goals. By protecting attention and focus, they multiply their productivity, amplify their impact, and move faster toward meaningful results. Silence becomes the mechanism through which efficiency, strategy, and progress are optimized. The combination of inner confidence and strategic silence creates unstoppable mental strength because it transforms your relationship with fear. Fear often arises from uncertainty, from the need for approval, or from the pressure to react. But when you are grounded in self-confidence and disciplined in your use of energy and speech, fear loses its grip. You are no longer controlled by imagined consequences, by what others think, or by external chaos. Silence allows you to reflect, evaluate, and respond with clarity. Confidence provides the courage to act decisively together. They form the foundation for mental invincibility. Furthermore, the practice of silence cultivates patience and timing. Most people fail because they act too quickly, speak too soon, or attempt to control outcomes prematurely. Silence teaches you to observe, to assess, and to wait for the moment when action will be most effective. This patience is not passivity, it is strategic restraint. It allows you to position yourself for maximum influence, to conserve energy for critical moves, and to avoid unnecessary conflict. The mentally unstoppable understand that timing is as important as action, and that silence gives you the advantage of seeing the right moment more clearly than anyone else. Finally, combining confidence and strategic silence empowers you to navigate relationships, negotiations, and challenges with unparalleled strength. You become less reactive, more persuasive, and more respected. People are drawn to your calm presence. They follow your lead without needing to be convinced, and your decisions carry authority because they are rooted in clarity and self-assurance. The ability to maintain focus, protect energy, use words strategically, and act decisively makes you unstoppable in your personal and professional life. Silence is not absence, and confidence is not arrogance. Together, they create a force that cannot be shaken, influenced, or distracted. As we bring everything together, I want you to truly understand the power that lies in silence. The extraordinary strength that emerges when you choose to step back, pause, and conserve your energy. The world constantly tells us that being heard, being reactive, being visible at all times is the key to success. We are told to explain ourselves, justify every choice, defend every action, and seek approval at every turn. But what the truly unstoppable understand is that real power doesn't live in constant noise. Real strength lives in the quiet moments when you choose your battles, when you choose your words, when you choose your actions with deliberate intention. Every time you embrace silence, you are reclaiming control over your mind, your emotions, and your life. The first lesson in this journey is that silence is not weakness, it is control. When you stop reacting to every situation, every criticism, every external pressure, you create a space in which clarity can flourish. Most people give away their power to the chaos around them. They respond impulsively. They speak before they understand, and they expend energy defending things that do not serve their growth. But when you pause, when you choose silence, you regain that energy. You redirect it toward observation, toward preparation, and toward deliberate action. In that silence, you are no longer a passenger in your own life. You are the driver. You decide where to go, when to act, and how to respond. This control over yourself is the foundation of mental invincibility. Discipline is born from silence. Every moment you resist the urge to react impulsively, every time you pause before speaking, you train the mental muscles that separate ordinary people from those who achieve extraordinary results. Discipline is not restriction, it is empowerment. It is the ability to choose focus over distraction, clarity over chaos, and long-term growth over short-term gratification. Mentally unstoppable people understand that discipline multiplies the value of their energy, their time, and their attention. By practicing restraint, you build the capacity to make decisions from a place of power. Silence also sharpens your awareness. When you are not talking, you are listening, you are observing, you notice patterns, detect subtleties, and understand intentions that others miss because they are too busy defending their own narratives. Awareness is leverage. The person who masters silence sees the world in layers. They understand the hidden opportunities, the unspoken dynamics, and the truth behind the noise. While others are reacting, the silent observer is calculating, learning, and positioning themselves to act with maximum impact. Awareness combined with restraint creates a mental edge that is nearly impossible to compete with. Emotional mastery grows when you choose silence over reaction. Most people are driven by the need to justify, defend, or explain. They allow external opinions and criticisms to control their emotional state. But when you embrace quiet, when you hold your responses and protect your energy, you develop confidence that comes from within. This is the kind of confidence that is unshakable because it is not dependent on approval. It is rooted in self-trust, in preparation, in clarity, and in the results of your actions. Emotional control allows you to remain calm in chaos, deliberate in the face of pressure, and resilient when life tests you. Protecting your goals through silence is another critical principle. The world is full of distractions, naysayers, and unsolicited advice. Every time you announce your plans prematurely, you dilute the energy and focus necessary to bring them to life. Silence ensures that your vision grows in private, untainted by doubt or interference. It allows you to invest all your energy into preparation, execution, and results. When the outcome finally manifests, the impact is undeniable. And the world takes notice not because of the noise you made, but because of the results you delivered. Action without distraction, results without explanation. This is the hallmark of the mentally unstoppable. Words are tools, and silence teaches you how to use them intentionally. When you speak sparingly and with purpose, every word gains power. People listen differently when they know that when you speak, it matters. Strategic communication amplifies influence. It transforms ordinary conversations into leadership, persuasion, and inspiration. Silence also protects your emotional energy, preventing you from being manipulated or distracted by the drama, negativity, or opinions of others. By choosing your words carefully, you magnify your impact and conserve strength for the moments that truly matter. Resilience is cultivated in quiet. Every time you resist reacting, every time you hold your thoughts and emotions in check, you strengthen your inner foundation. Life will test you relentlessly, but silence creates a space where you can face fear, uncertainty, and pressure without losing control. It allows you to reflect, recalibrate, and respond from a position of power rather than being pulled by circumstance. This resilience becomes a force multiplier, giving you the ability to maintain focus, clarity, and determination regardless of external conditions. Confidence flows naturally from disciplined silence. When you are not driven by the need for approval or validation, when your self-worth is anchored internally, you operate with certainty. Confidence allows you to act decisively, to lead effortlessly, and to inspire others through presence rather than volume. Influence comes to those who demonstrate composure, clarity, and control, and the silent, confident mind commands respect because it signals mastery over self and environment. Finally, the integration of all these principles, control, discipline, awareness, emotional mastery, strategic action, resilience, and confidence creates a state of mental invincibility. Silence is not absence, it is deliberate presence. It conserves energy, sharpens focus, magnifies impact, and strengthens your mind against the chaos and noise of the world. Every pause, every measured word, every deliberate action becomes part of a system that allows you to operate at peak performance, achieve extraordinary results, and remain unshakable in the face of any challenge. The mentally unstoppable understand that true strength is not about being loud, being reactive, or proving yourself to everyone around you. True power is cultivated in silence, exercised in strategy, and demonstrated through results that speak louder than words ever could.